Well, good day, my friends, and welcome to that Kentuckessee Angler Show. Today we're chasing some big old fall largemouth, fishing a new bait, then we're gonna take it home and give it a solid review. Bait-wise, we are running a new one to me today. This is the ringer worm by Big Hammer. Cool looking packaging, even cooler looking bait right here. The color is red pumpkin. I do quite enjoy that color. We'll see how it shows up in our stainage. Now, rigging-wise, I brought a couple different rods, a couple different rigging methods. However, I wanted to start out with a 2/0 extra wide gap hook with a 1/8 ounce sinker. It's a weight range I'm very comfortable with for the rod that I'm choosing to fish it on right now. And the hook looks like it fit that bait well. I did bring a variety of hooks. If this one doesn't quite fit, I was really stuck between running a 2/0 or a 3/0, but we'll see if we can get away with that smaller size, give this worm a little more action. We're simply gonna Texas rig it. If you're unfamiliar with the Texas rig, it's very easy. I'm gonna show y'all right now. We're simply gonna take our hook point, stick it in the end of that worm till we're right about that bend. We're gonna pop it through, slide it up that hook, give it a little twist, man, and then we are going to line it up. That's where our worm's going to be sitting. That's where we want to poke it through. We're going to take a mental note of that and pop her on through, and there we go. I'm also making sure the tail of this worm is pointing down. Generally with these U-tail or I guess U-tail, I don't really know what to call them. Worms of this nature, when they have a tail that bends in a particular way, pointing it down or up is usually a good way to go about it. Usually gives these worms the best action. Now, as far as embedding our hook, we do have these solid rings. I'm just gonna stick it in one of those for now and see how that does us. If we end up running into a bunch of snags, I will dig it a little further into that plastic, but I think this will do. Let's get it out on the water. Let's see how she performs. Now here's a look at our worm all rigged up with that 1/8 ounce sinker. Now let's see what she looks like on our current stainage, which is very, very heavily stained right now. We had some rain a couple days ago and this water is certainly reflecting it, but I am seeing a bit of contrast, not quite as much as I'd like to see, but I'm confident we're going to be able to get hit on this bait. Fishing wise, technique wise, we're going to start out like a standard kind of curly tail, really just letting it sink a little bit, giving it a couple pops and kind of springing it up, dragging it along, letting it down, throwing in a couple more pops and twitches as we go. We'll experiment with our retrieve. We'll fish it slower, fish it faster, find out what the real sweet spot is. I do believe this worm could work really, really well almost as a swim bait, just trailing through the water with that little tail, but I also think it'll work very well being kind of twitched in place, kind of bounced off the bottom more so like a worm. Now let's get that skunk off our back, my friends. I'm feeling pretty good about today. Good fish. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Are we wrapped up? She's coming. Okay, I thought we were hung for a second. I'm starting to think this might be a stick. No, it's a fish. It's definitely a fish, man. Okay, that kind of threw me for a loop, man. That was not budging. I think we were stuck on some rocks. It's gotta be a decent sized one. Oh yeah, beautiful. Way to start the day, man. Just a gorgeous largie. Oh yeah, that is what I'm talking about. Well, there we go, my friend. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's got some shoulders on her for sure. Really healthy looking largie, man. Well fed. Let's get her back in. Feeling good about that new little bait. Thanks for biting, girl. And off she goes. Awesome first fish, my friends. That one kind of threw me for a loop. This is a very snaggy area. It's pretty shallow. It does drop off, man. It's really productive, but there's a lot of rocks, little stumps here to get hung up on. After our first initial tug, I thought I was stuck there. I thought I was stuck on someone's line and it was kind of giving a little bit because that fish was just staying put. I think she had us wrapped around. Sure enough, she started running, man. Let's get this bait back in and see what we can do. Looks like they want it slow. At least that one did. Kind of rinse and repeat, continue to fish out this little area right here. There we go. Oh, we got another one, man. That was in within like 2 casts. Another really Really hard fighter. They're fighting really hard. This area is super shallow, man. What do we got? Another nice largie, man. Really pretty one. Another really healthy one. Maybe a little smaller. Oh, close to the same size. Are you the same fish, man? I don't think so. Gorgeous, man. Yeah, I'd say she's a little bit smaller. Still definitely in that 2 range. And that's 2 nearly back to back. That's absolutely awesome. Really, really great sign. Hope we're taking in some water. Another really pretty largie. We're gonna get her on her way, man. Our worm looks like it's still in really good condition. Absolutely loving that bait. Pretty good sign for the day. They're certainly up shallow. Now, unfortunately, this guy just saw us pull those fish back to back. But that's not gonna stop us. Let's see if we can pull another one out of here. If this spot's hitting, I know of a couple other that certainly will be. It looks like they want it pretty slow today. I think I just said that right before we caught that other fish too, man. I wasn't expecting to have so much success right off the rip. Thought I was gonna have to work for them a little bit, but they are clinging to shade right now. It's kind of what I assumed. That's why I started out in this spot, considering it's midday right now. Probably why they're sitting right over here. Yeah, that boat just launched. Certainly just saw us catch both those fish. Now he's working the same bank, which is unfortunate because that's really all we have out here. I can't make my way over there. You need a boat to do that. And like that, we are on the move to a very similar area. Chances are, if they're posted up there, they're gonna be posted up in this other spot I know. And we're really just chasing big fish today, not exploring too much. Of course, we're gonna hit several different spots, but really, I need a good day out on the water, and today might very well be it. And while I do wanna hit this bank line, as it can be pretty hot, we're gonna skip down to where I think our next fish is gonna come from without too much effort, which is this patch of cover right down here, not too far away from where we started, just a bit of a trek to get to it. We got to actually take a path. There's a lot of debris, a lot of impassable structure. Not for me, not for lack of trying out here. So this area is very similar to what we were just fishing. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. However, we got some sticks in here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull that out. Kind of looks like a big old tree. I don't know how long it has been in here. The water is a bit lower, which kind of threw me for a loop. I want to say I typically stand right here. We can certainly kind of lead up in this area now that the water has receded, kind of opening up some new spots for us. But start out with the tried and true, man. And nothing out of that area. And I hung out there for a minute, longer than I'd like to admit, probably close to a half hour jumping around those rocks. So we're kind of grasping at straws right now. We could go back and try to squeeze some more shade out of that spot, but it is lessening as that sun gets up there. However, this area has been good to me before. There's some scattered rock out here. You can see in abundance. We're slowly gonna kind of move up on that, but we're gonna throw some casts out here and just kind of feel out the area, really just looking for any signs of life. Bait doesn't look super active. I'm not seeing a lot of good tells out here. And yeah, that's about it. Start off really strong, slowly tapering off into I don't know if we're gonna catch any more fish mode, but I'm still hopeful. I'm keeping that optimism. Those rocks, they look promising. On the positive side of things, I haven't lost a single one of these yet. I was a bit concerned about ringing and sticking my hook point in the rings on this bait. If you know what I mean, those little kind of ribs, rings sticking out. I don't know how else to put it, but yeah, it's working out. It is definitely deflecting some of these snags. There we go, fish on, man. That's what I'm talking about. Woo, she caught me off guard too, man. Right on, my friend. She feels nice. Oh, yeah, chubby. Couldn't tell if that was a largie or a spot. Largies are a lot more common, so I'm kind of banking on that, but that's an awesome sign, man. It's been a minute. There we go, beautiful largie. Another healthy one, I swear, man. The fish in this area are just so healthy. It's not huge, but that's something, man. That's a sign of life. There we go, my dudes, an absolutely gorgeous one. This water does feel fairly cool, which is a good sign. We have been having some colder nights out here. I'm glad to find her just kind of scattered out here. We're gonna continue to fish this area out a little bit, but good sign, man, good stuff. Not quite as big as the other ones we were pulling, but she's definitely something to be thankful for, especially on a day like this. You know, I've had a bit of a lull in the bite before jumping over here. Great sign though, really pretty fish. Let's get her back in. Oh, thank you for biting. And off she goes. Well, that is super awesome, my friends. I think I was standing like right over here. Yes, so this kind of rock right down here, there's a lot of that scattered around. I have had good days pulling them off of that, but it is kind of spread throughout the area. I can feel my bait hanging off of it. Kind of thinking bait might be posted up around those, bringing the largies in the area. We'll see if she was lone wolfing it or if perhaps she's got some friends. One thing I do want to show off really quick before I forget is this bait's action. The lighting in that other area was so poor, it was hard to. But you can see that tail absolutely kicks, and that color's really showing off. Okay, I don't know if we can quite get out there. Close, man, maybe 6 to 8 feet away from where that fish just busted. But that's a promising sign as well. There we go, fish on. Oh, at the feet. At the feet, we got him out here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, you are fighting hard. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just saw her profile, she looked big. She's decent, whoa. Chubby, man, she's a thickie. Oh. Another absolutely gorgeous one. I'd say this is the largest one we pulled today. I think it's safe to say we might have found them out here. Get this hook out of you. Some better lighting for y'all. She's an absolute beauty, man. A unit 2. That's a thick fish, man. A real hard fighter. Let's get her back in. Good stuff, dude. I think we found them. Well, thank you so much for biting, girl. We'll bite right there at the feet, man. And off she goes. A little damage report for you right here. We have been using the same worm the entire time, and she looks pretty good. All right, we're starting to get some splittage right up here, but it's still holding true. Right here, it's a pretty thick portion for that eye to kind of sit in. So we're gonna continue to throw this till we absolutely can't, but it's still in pretty good condition, man. I'm impressed. So as we are in direct sunlight, we're gonna leave our bigger camera right here, just preventative measures. These GoPros do overheat when they're exposed to sunlight for a hot minute. It's very comfortable out here, but that sun is absolutely beaten down. That is for sure. We're going to continue to fish out this area. We'll slowly start kind of moving around the bank. We pulled one right out from over here, pulled one from over here. Let's see if they follow suit. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think we got some bait in the water. I have had a couple casts land and see that bait scatter. So hopefully there's a good amount of them out here. I've had a bite like this one time in this area where they were just scattered throughout here, and it was an absolute blast. There were a ton of fish. It was also a midday bite, so maybe we're keying in on something special. Now the way I have opted to work this bait is pretty slow, man. Really close to what I do with the curly tail worm, a lot more rod than reel. First, I wasn't sure how I wanted to run it. I was considering kind of floating it like a swim bait, but slowly kind of jigging it, crawling it like your average T-rigged worm seems to be getting the job done. Throwing in a few twitches here and there and really popping it up, then raising the rod tip with that slack. I don't think there's a wrong way you could fish this. Well, actually, I'm sure there is. I don't want to get into that, but for the most part, it seems like a very easy bait to fish. So we are once again on the move, my friends. The plan is we double tap spot number 1, that OG spot, see if anything's posted up there, anything's sitting there. I doubt there's any more shade in that area, but if there is, there's a chance we can pull a nice one, and then we go to a completely new area we haven't fished yet in today's video. I don't really know if we're going to be able to pull any fish from it, but it's certainly worth a try, and I could definitely use the little change of scenery. And here we are, the treacherous way down. This GoPro never gives justice to just how steep that area is. We're gonna two-strap it really quick. There we go. And it's It's even harder when you're trying to do this with waterproof boots on. These ones do have a nice tread on them. And here we are. There is absolutely no shade. Well, maybe a little bit from where that tree is overhanging right over there. It's worth the cast though, made the effort to get down here. So the next area we're gonna fish is actually kind of way down there. I don't know how well it's gonna show up, but if you can see that dude fishing on that little pier, a lot of people fish from there. We're not going to, just because there's a ton of snags and it gets a ton of pressure. There are better spots to hit that area from if you're willing to get a little muddy, if you're willing to kind of trek through the woods, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. But first, let's see if anything's sitting over here in our little hidey hole. Those are some pretty nice fish earlier. And after casting in that area for a good, probably close to a half hour, without pulling anything else, I'm definitely down for a quick little instant bite or quick little bass fix. Fish on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Good one. Good one. Good one. I haven't retied this bait yet, which I did check my line, I didn't feel any frays, but there's a bit of a cause for concern right now, as this does feel like a really nice fish. At least it's putting up a good fight. It's hard to tell right now. Let's see what you are. Oh yeah, she's a beaut. She's a beaut. She's not huge, but she's thick. She's thick enough to put up a fight like that. Really another healthy one. All right, easy. Gorgeous, my friends. Another thickie. Just take a look at her. Absolutely beautiful, man. Real thick, real stout one. Get you back in. I was a double check that line. I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or what. No, it looks like we're good. We're pretty good. And our bait is still kicking, dude. I'm amazed. I've been giving out a lot of 5 stars lately, really because it's been a struggle in my area. I've been fishing my best baits. But this one right here, I don't know what she's gonna earn just yet, but she's looking up there. Well, that was just an absolutely awesome, healthy fish. We pulled her from right out here. Throw another one in that area. That is what I love about this time of year, man. We're starting to get into those cooler nights. I mean, it's like 80 degrees today, so it's still pretty hot. However, that truer fall weather is coming quickly, and these fish are gonna be really easy to catch from the bank. They start feeding up shallow, crushing baits. Just the best time of year to fish, in my opinion. I prefer it over any other time of year, man. There we go. Good fish, good fish, good fish. Right out of that same area, man. Definitely smaller. She's up pretty shallow, like really shallow. Probably like a foot and a half of water. Definitely our smallest one of the day, but a super pretty one. Well, she's certainly our smallest fish of the day, but she's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for biting, girl. I appreciate that. Hitting the bait that just won't die. This is like, seriously, some of the best durability in a bait like this I've ever experienced before. So I've decided to make the trek despite the wind, man, and hopefully it pays off. If anything, I'll just head home a little bit early. Not a big deal. Now, I have filmed here numerous times, but what we do have is shade, which is absolutely awesome. So hopefully we can pull some chunky fish. Again, I haven't really fished this area this time of day, so don't know too much of what to expect, but I could only hope we got some nice eating fish in this area. Now, we're still on the exact same worm, which is just outstanding. I I'm really impressed. We're starting to see a lot of wear though. Not very much slippage though, just in kind of the head where it sits really right here. I think it can hang on a little bit longer though. It's definitely worth throwing around. I'm certainly retying though. It's just the responsible thing to do really. And we'll just take like a foot of line off, something like that. Really what's been rubbing up on those rocks. I will say, man, definitely should have drank a little more water out here. I just chugged one. Starting to get that little too much time in the sun headache going on, which is super whack, but nothing I can't recover from. And we'll just give her the old Palomar, big Palomar guy. And we're just going to start out right here, kind of working this little shady bit. And no more fish were caught in the making of this video. That jump was regrettable, man. I'm gonna put that out there right now, but that's how you learn, right? If you're new to the channel, this is the part of the video where we take a real deep dive at one of the baits we worked with throughout the making of this video, and then we give it a solid rating. It should come as no surprise that today's bait of the day is the big hammer ringer worm, the only bait I fished out there on the water and the only bait that I intended to fish. Now, the ringer worm is 4 inches in length and weighs in at roughly 5.8 grams. When it comes to the aesthetics, the design of this bait, I am quite fond of it. So again, it is 4 inches in length, a really nice profile to it, good size, can be eaten by smaller fish, by larger fish. It's not too intimidating though. It's big enough to get noticed out there on the water. So right here, this is probably my favorite, my most notable feature about the bait. You got this really nice sturdy tip to kind of just shove your hook in and refix that on your bait. We're gonna get into durability in a second. However, this really impressed me, okay? A very small, very simple feature about that bait, but this plastic is absolutely fantastic, okay? So we got a ringed body right here, and these are some fairly thick rings. I was initially hesitant about just sticking my EWG hook up in one of these rings, thinking that maybe it would rip, maybe it would pop out. Didn't really have any issues there. I found it very useful in like the weedless type department at deflecting snags, that sort of thing. Anyhow, your ringed body kind of tapers down into your U-shaped tail right here. I did mention when it comes to rigging these baits, I like to rig them downwards or upwards, really vertically. That really gives it more of a wag through the water than simply rigging it horizontally, where yeah, you're still gonna get a little bit of action, but it's not quite the same. I will mention right now, I took a quick glance at their website and I found that they had their rig, the example they showed was with the tail up. We rigged it downwards and still had some pretty awesome results, just throwing that out. When it comes to the on the water performance, I can't complain one bit. I found this worm to have a really nice action. I tried to show it in the water. It doesn't always show up the way I want to on camera, though you were able to see that it stirred up a bit of water. So the tail has a fantastic action. It has a really nice wiggle to it. I'm quite fond of the plastic. It's nice, it's good stuff, man. They also have kind of a mentholy smell. I have fished other brands that have similar smells to it, but yeah, I'm getting some mentholy vibes, some Newport vibes from this bad boy right here. But on the water performance, man, 2 thumbs up, great experience. In the durability department, it was outstanding. That is the feature that I'm gonna highlight the most about this bait right now, okay? So durability was fantastic. No gripes, no complaints. I'm extremely impressed. I did mention this kind of thick piece right up here. I was able to catch every fish, pop out a few snags here and there. I was fishing this bait I was targeting rocks out there. So what I was trying to do was smack on rocks or land right next to rocks and pop my bait out. Throughout this video, there were some stumps, there were some snags, that sort of thing happens, but I managed to get through the entire video and every hour on the water. I think I was out there around 3.5 hours. It was all with the same worm, all right? Towards the end, I did replace it in the segment of the video that I didn't really show when I jumped spots, because I did eventually start to get a little bit of slippage once this really got torn up, but I was able to reset it time and time again. The durability on this worm is phenomenal. This packaging absolutely rocks. I think it's super cool, man. It's super thoughtful. Very nice design right here. It's a cool looking package. All right, so you got some ketchup and mustard. I really like the type they used. It's very, I don't know, it's like Warhammer-ish. It's very cool, dude. It's a really cool font. You have your swimbait.com right up here. That must have been a hard website to get. Now, I did look at this company very, very briefly. I literally just kind of glazed over their website very quickly. It looks like they predominantly make and sell swim baits. So of the paddle tail variety, so not hard swim baits. Maybe they have that, I didn't look that hard at them, but they certainly have a ton of different paddle tails. That's what I'm gonna order from them next because I really do wanna try some of their other baits. But they were established in 1993, so they've been around for a hot minute. And if their baits are this quality, if their other baits reflect this ringer worm right here, that's some stuff I kind of want to explore. I want to check out a little bit more. But I like the packaging, man. It's cool. You got your clear window through there. I don't know what else I can really elaborate on. You got your label right here, obviously, where they fail to mention the length. But it is posted clearly on their website a lot. That's something that absolutely drives me crazy. I like to know the length of my bait, guys, come on. And on to our price. So these baits do come in a 10 pack. That's a good amount of baits. I really like to see that, all right. But when it comes to the price, we're gonna be working with tackle warehouses. That's where I found these baits. That's where I ordered them from. They are available at a few other retailers. You can Google their name. Actually, a good amount of retailers. I was kind of impressed. A pretty well-established brand that I just really didn't know about. But you can find them at a slightly cheaper price. You can find them at a more expensive price. We're going with the Tackle Warehouse, which is a great middle ground price for these baits. The price we're working with is $5.29. So $5.29 for a 10 pack. That's going to be roughly 53 cents-ish per unit right there, if you kind of round up that fraction of a cent. And I think that's a stellar deal. It's a really, really good one in my opinion. 53 cents for a bait like this that is very thoughtfully designed, man. It's well packaged, you get a great quantity, and it flat out gets bit, not to mention the durability, man. I have 9 of these bad boys left. It's a really good deal. I think we have some great value here. Finally, the time has come for some closing thoughts accompanied by the rating of our bait. I will say I'm impressed. I really had a good time fishing this bait. It was a lot of fun. It's something a little different. We've fished some similar style baits on the channel, but I quite enjoyed this one. And it straight up produced some nice fish for me. The bite has been fairly inconsistent in my area. When I eyed this one, I thought I could get hit on it. It was kind of a wild card. I wasn't 100% sure, but we got some nice ones on it. I highly recommend this bait to anyone who enjoys fishing soft plastics and different baits, wants to try something else. It's very, very cool. I like it a lot. Let me know in the comments if you've tried anything by Big Hammer or if you've tried the ringer worm yourself. For our rating, we are gonna give the ringer worm by Big Hammer 4.5 stars, a very high rating. So our baseline is 3 stars. That's a satisfactory bait. That's an okay bait that gets bit, you know, all around. Very average. 4.5, very high, and this bait earned it, all right? It was fantastic. I don't know what else to say about it. It was a good bait. Now, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I hope y'all get some good fish on, my friends. I got a fun one planned for you next week. I'll see ya later. Peace.